Yeah, Coach, I guess it's been a while since we talked to you just with the draft and this offseason as a whole. Were there any big surprises or anything that really stuck out to you?
We knew that we were going to lose some kids in the draft, obviously, and we were just hoping that we might be able to keep one of those three infielders that signed. Fortunately, we were able to keep Souza, and the money that was given them, so to speak, and where they were drafted. There was some tough calls, but they got what they wanted, and they stuck to their word. And but other than that, I mean, probably some of the surprises were that maybe we got a couple more pitchers through than I thought we might, and some big lefties and some guys that really had had put it out there that they wanted to go to college and they got a lot of money, and that's why we didn't have maybe another five or six guys drafted anyway.
With the transfers, I'm assuming you're able to talk about more than you were before. Are you allowed to talk about all those transfer guys?
Maybe not all of them. I think there's a couple that we're still getting some things finalized, whether it's transcripts and all that, but probably all that you've seen, they're all coming. It's just I can't speak maybe to a couple of them.
Well, I'll start with shortstop and catcher because I know those were positions a lot of people had their eyes on with White and Aloy. Just how good do you feel to get big time prospects like that, huge players in their class, to get productive play pieces like that at those spots?
Yeah, super excited about both of those guys. They both have Division One experience. Those are some positions that we felt that we needed to, take care of a little bit more. And those are probably two of the better ones in the country. And we were fortunate that, in the case of Hudson White, it works fast. Once he got in the portal, we saw him there. We got on it, and he was a kid that we recruited out of high school, so we already had a relationship with him. So I'm sure that helped a lot. But and then when you're talking about Bahiva, and his name is not pronounced like it's spelled, so you guys will figure that out. But he had some really good visits lined up, and we were very fortunate that he decided that this was what he wanted to do. And then he went on back home because he had to have some surgery, not on his arm or knee or anything, but he had to get some things taken care of and try to get healthy for this fall. So we're excited about both of those guys.
Bob.
Hey Dave, how you doing?
Good.
Is Lincoln Riley a guy you can talk about?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Yeah, not everything's done yet.
Okay. And White, he looks like he's got great hitting stats. His defensive stats didn't jump off the page at me. Is he a guy maybe you're thinking about as a DH or a different position, or are you looking at him as a catcher?
He's a really good defensive catcher. He's not having a great summer offensively, but he's having a really good summer just catching and playing. He's had some good years offensively. No, I plan on being a catcher.
Okay, maybe I misread those, or maybe he's gotten better. I don't. But and then you got two Mizzou outfielders. If you can talk about those guys, I mean, those guys aren't just high level Division I players; they're SEC players. And when you're playing other teams, sometimes do you think, if that guy goes in the portal, I might be interested in him, or that kind of thing? How'd that all come about?
Well, basically you talk about Ty, he's an everyday player, center fielder, can really run, likes to steal bases, very intelligent. Talked to their former coaches now at another university and had all kinds of good things to say about him. And when you're talking about Ross a little bit, he's a left-handed hitter that was injured a lot this year, and we feel like that he's a guy. If he could stay healthy and be in the lineup, that he can really help us. So yeah, I mean, when you're playing other teams, I don't think we're just trying to win. But obviously, you're thinking, yeah, well, I wish I had that guy here and there. I think that's just human nature. But, the way the recruiting has changed a little bit, I think there's probably a lot more of that going on.
Thanks.
Matt?
Hey, good morning, Dave. What's the update on Dylan Carter and Peyton Stovall right now, where they are in their recovery?
Well, they're just working hard. They've been here all summer. I feel like Dylan's probably farther along than a lot of people thought he would be, but he had surgery mid-season, late season. So it'll just be interesting to see how it goes when he can get back. And Stovall's been here all summer. He went home for just a little while, had the surgery, got back. He's been working with Corey super hard, our trainer. I think he's on pace or ahead of pace from everything that I've been told. That's really about all we know right now.
Do you know if you're going to play any teams outside your own team this fall?
Yeah, I would say no. We just feel like that we have, a lot of pitchers in here that we need to see them throw, and that would maybe take away a little bit. And, when you play outside competition, there's, then your roster is kind of set, your counters, so to speak. And I don't think we want to go there yet. So we will have a really good fall when it comes to our scrimmages. We have good players that can play multi positions, and we feel like our scrimmages are going to be super competitive. Try to get these guys some at bats, see who can do what, who can run the bases, who can steal a base, and let some guys pitch. Especially some of these younger guys, they can kind of go show us what they've got.
You promoted Bobby Wernes to a full-time role. I wonder, what has that done for your staff in terms of evaluations, being able to have more coaches out on the road?
Yeah, Bobby's done a tremendous job here as a player, and then as a young coach. Went away, and then we got him back as our volunteer, and then we hired him full-time, and super happy for him, and just glad that we have him with us. As far as the recruiting, it just puts him out on the road. He's done a great job this summer. He's been all over the place, as all the coaches have. Just makes us a little stronger.
Tom? Tom, you muted.
Hey, Dave, it looks like you went a little bit more portal than, whereas last year was more junior college. Was that just a product of the available talent, or maybe a little bit of a philosophical deal?
Maybe it was the way it worked for us this year. It made more sense. We had to see what we had throughout the season and what we were going to need. And so obviously that a lot of the junior college kids were maybe gone. And, but I think if you ask me, I would probably rather, take a kid that's got Division I at bats or gotten Division I hitters out, if you're talking about right now. And I feel like that we covered our bases this summer, as far as getting the kids in here that we need to help us put together a roster that can be competitive in the SEC.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of the right now, your roster construction, do you feel like you kind of addressed every need, and you got defense, speed, pitching, relief pitching, the whole works? You covered the gamut?
We do. You never know how it's going to turn out. But we feel good about the experienced kids we have coming in. We feel good about the guys that are coming back that have been in our program, that they've continued to develop and get better. And then the freshman class that's coming in, it's still a really good class, even though, we lost some kids to professional baseball. And like I said, we knew we were. So we tried to cover all that. And by going out and getting a couple infielders and getting a few more pitchers, it really helped us.
Joe?
Hey, Coach, what do you make of Parker Coyle's summer in the Cape Cod League, and what do you feel like maybe his next steps are, and where he fits into the mix as you start to look toward the fall?
Well, he's had a tremendous summer, pretty much out of the pen, just coming in, and what he's done, he's thrown a lot of strikes, and he's always had a good breaking ball. Looks like he's really confident, and he's just taking a step forward. I mean, he could come in and challenge to be a starter, or there's a lot of roles for him. And we used him in some tough situations last year. Some because it was towards the end of the weekend. We had a lot of injuries. We had to go with some guys that we didn't know if they were ready yet, and he got us out of some jams. He started some games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and I think he's starting to turn the corner physically. He's starting to put on some little bit more weight, and I think that this fall will be big for him, and he'll be a big part of our team in the spring.
Daniel.
Coach, with all the injuries that you dealt with last year, is there anything you're doing kind of differently this fall, or anything to kind of prepare all the guys to get ready?
Yeah, we've made some adjustments. When you talk about fall practice, or the way we, go about on the field, workouts, it'll be pretty much the same. It's a formula that's worked. I mean, if you go back and look over the last 5 years, I think we've won more games than any Division I program in the country, and we could go on and on about some statistics. So don't want to change a whole lot there, but we'll maybe shorten some things up, and yeah, we're definitely making some adjustments.
Mason.
Yeah, Coach, you got Will McEntire back. Was there any worry that he might, not come back? And then also, Zach Morris left. Just reaction to that.
Yeah, McEntire, we really wanted to get him back, and but at the same time, for him individually, and for his his future, if somebody drafts him and they give him slot money, we get it, and we would have been super happy for him there. But we really wanted him back. We let him know that. I think he'll be a big part of our pitching staff. Love the experience, and the makeup, and the stuff's good. It should continue to get better if he's healthy. As far as Zach Morris, Zach did a lot of good things here for us and pitched in some really tough situations. And you think about his career, he had a good career here, but he just wanted to pitch more. I think he wanted to be a conference starter, and we couldn't guarantee him that. And we got some kids coming back that have been there. We got a couple guys coming in that have been there. And I feel like that he felt like that he needed to go, and we get it. We're going to wish him all the best. We already have, and hope he does well.
And you had a lot of guys playing summer ball this summer. Just the overall health of everybody, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, so far the health is good. We've been keeping up with them. Some of the guys are just finishing up, and we'll keep an eye on those guys in fall ball. If guys thrown a lot or played most every day in summer ball, we're going to give them maybe a little more downtime than maybe normal. Example, instead of catching or playing outfield every day, we'll let them DH and just hit and save a little energy there. And then, but they're still going to get their work. But I think that the summer ball, a lot of times you don't see how it helped you until maybe spring, but the development's there. Fall's the fall, they'll get better, they'll be more confident, and then you'll see it down the road where they make a jump.
Ellis. Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you about Adam Hockman. I know he's one of those pitchers that you were really hoping might make it through, and he comes through. What's the update with his rehab and sort of that timeline with him?
Yeah, he had a little different surgery, than just straight up Tommy John. He had the internal brace, which could be half the time. It's kind of a new thing, and I'm not going to go through all the details. And that's kind of the way that that we hear it talked about it. It's an internal brace, and I feel like that he'll show us what we need to do. We're not going to rush him, push him. If he's ready to pitch this year, he'll definitely pitch. If he's not, just get ready for the future and hopefully have 2 really good years. If we get 2.5 good years, that's fine, whatever. Big hard throwing left-hander, about 6'6", 6'5" maybe. But I don't feel like you'll be seeing him pitch this fall, but maybe in the spring. And if that's the case, that'll be great.
You've also got a lot of position players that seem like they can move around a little bit, like Jason Jones, Jack Wagner, and even Peyton Holt. I was just wondering how much you've allowed yourself to think forward of like where these guys might go, who all might move around, and who all could be bouncing around for you this fall.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Jones and Holt are already in our program. We already know what they can do, and they've, Holt just had to get healthy. We wanted him to really limber up this summer. He's strong enough. He's got to be limber and quick, and he's worked on that. Jason has had a good summer. He's played every day for the most part up in Wisconsin. His team's done really well. I think he's close to hitting double-digit home runs, something like that, and maintain a batting average a little bit, driven in runs, got some big hits, and played a lot of third base. So we're excited about that. And I don't think I can really speak about Wagner yet. Still working on a few things there, but it's just some things that are, that have to be taken care of, but it's all good. So, and we have more kids that can move around and play different positions, and that's going to give us some options.
Bob. Hey, Dave, you were talking about guys in the summer. We all know that Kendall Diggs really improved his defense, getting a shot to play in the outfield when he had some injuries. But it was about a month ago. It's about 1 a.m. I'm laying there on the couch about half asleep, and I hear Sports Center top 10 says Kendall Diggs. And I'm thinking, are you kidding me? And I kind of had to wait and then watch the rerun of it. Did you see that play? Just what do you think about Kendall making the top 10 for his defense?
He made a lot of good plays this summer. Some sliding catches into the fence, diving catches. I think, and you kind of said it, just him getting in the lineup when we had the injury to Wagner, when he had to go to, when we put Jace over in left and put Kendall in the game, and you could see game to game that he got better. It wasn't so mechanical, so to speak. It just got easier and looked easier for him. And by the end of the year, he was back DHing again, but we had no issues putting him in the field. And obviously he'll be one of the front runners to grab one of those outfield spots. So it's been good watching his development there. And I think for him personally, he knows when he gets back from summer ball that he knows where he's going to go, where he's got a chance to play. And in the past, it's been bouncing around third, first, little outfield, and now he'll go straight to a corner outfield and get his work in and get ready.
Do you think that's pretty cool, though? Maybe when his home runs got top 10 on there, but him getting a defensive play, getting a shout out like that on national TV?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's awesome. Anytime that happens, you kind of like you. I don't stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning laying around like that, but it kind of woke you up and got you moving around a little bit. So I'm sure there's some other Razorback fans that probably did the same thing.
Thanks, Dave.
Matt.
Big picture, what's important for your team this fall?
Really got to show us, guys got to show us what to do on the defensive end. We're going to put in a lot of time on defense. You think about the last 2 seasons, we've really played great defense, and it's helped us a lot. And we spent a lot of time last fall on defense, and we didn't have a great start to the season defensively, but we kicked it into gear. And, I think we surprised a lot of people how good we were defensively when we lost so many position players from the year before. Basically, our starting left side, starting second baseman, we moved our first baseman to second, then he ended up getting hurt this year. But and then the outfield, the same way. We played good. We played really good defense. So spend a lot of time on defense. We'll do a lot of scrimmaging, and that'll give us an opportunity to see if the defenses that we're working, all the work we're putting in is paying off. And, with the schedule that we have next year, and it hasn't been announced, but I mean, the non-conference games that we're going to play, and then conference games here, the fans are going to have an incredible home schedule.
You have a date yet for the team practice when that's going to begin in September?
Yes, we actually sent something out to our guys, our team. We've moved the days just a couple. We're going to start on Friday, September 8th. with full team practice, and that'll get us all the way to about the middle of October with our 45-day window if we use it all. Sometimes we don't use the last couple of days, and we get those back for maybe in the spring. But we'll see how that turns out. Well, like, you know, our philosophy here is to get them here, go a couple of weeks with their kind of their position coaches in the weight room a little bit, and then get out there and get it going and get them off the field in October so we can get in that weight room, get them off the field. And, you know, I just believe that guys need a little time away from maybe the competition of baseball and just kind of refine some things and get ready for January.
Mason.
Yeah, Coach, is Mason Molina one of the transfers that you can talk about?
Yes, I can talk about Mason.
Just what do you think about, you know, landing a guy like him, you know, with the season he had, and did Hudson White have any role in getting him?
Well, first off, you know, Mason is, I mean, he had about, I think when we talked, he had about 37 Division I schools trying to get him to come to school there. You know, we feel really fortunate that he liked it here. I know that he took 3 visits. He went to Georgia. I think he went to Texas A&M, and then we were his last visit, and we didn't know how it was going to go when he left. We felt like he had a good visit. I think he liked what we're doing here. You know, we had some of the guys in town, so they got to hang out with him a little bit and talk about our program, and I feel like that always helps. So we're, you know, when you can get a pitcher that has a couple years of Division I experience, especially, you know, in a really good conference, it should help. If he's healthy, and I think he is, I think that he's going to be a big part of our pitching staff. So that was a big get for us. And, you know, as far as Hudson helping us, I never talked to Hudson about it, but I feel like that anytime that if you have guys that are on one team, I mean, it's just normal or human nature that they're going to say, hey, you're going there, I might be interested in going there. So I would say it was definitely a plus on our side. But, you know, who's to say? I think that he, you know, he knows about how we handle our pitching and a lot that we do here with our pitching staff and all the technology that we use. And he liked, you know, maybe thinking about coming to pitch for Coach Hop. So that was a big get for us.
And then also with the seasons that Josenberger and Jared Wagner had last year, and then they got drafted, was that something that you were able to, you know, show to maybe some of these older transfer outfielders that you brought in?
Oh yeah. And we've done that with the class before and the class before, because we've done a pretty good job of sometimes maybe not getting the biggest name, but maybe getting maybe someone who's just under that comes in and has a really good year. And I think that, you know, you're talking guys that some of these guys know each other because Midwest kids and playing our league or close to our league, you know, around this area. And they follow, you know, if a guy came in here from KU and did really well, and a guy came in here from Creighton, did really well, or OU or whoever, they know these guys and they're following. Kids are keeping up with all this now. I mean, recruiting is so different than it was 5 years ago as far as, you know, recruiting these older kids. And they're smart. They know they're 100%. They investigate. They're making phone calls, and you know, they're asking these guys, hey, what'd you think about the way they run their program? Hey, what'd you think about Coach Van Horn? Did you like the hidden guy? They're asking all those questions. And I think the guys that have been in here over the last 3-4 years, these transfers, have done well on paper. They've had a chance to play pro ball out of here. And they're definitely saying the right things to help us get guys.
All right, Ellis, close this out. Yeah, Coach Jake Faraday, you know, he's been around for a couple years. I've got a pretty good idea what the area of focus will be for him this offseason, but he seemed to draw a lot of attention for his stuff this summer. I was just wondering, do you think it's time for him to finally take that step forward and be a guy that you guys can count on in the back end?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, I mean, his battle is the zone. And if he finds the zone a lot, he makes a team, and he pitches a lot. He had some really good days up in the Cape. He had some that didn't go so well, and probably the coaches up there in a couple of situations just left him in where we never would have left him in, you know. And then the numbers were skewed a little bit, but stuff's good. It's got this fall and go out and do it, and hopefully he does. You know, we're all pulling for him.